Dear Boomers, today we are back to the Tao Te Ching, and the topic is the power of becoming less. There is a verse in the Tao Te Ching that quietly overturns everything we were taught about success. We talk about that a lot here. Please subscribe to the channel, and down below there will be a link to come into the community. We were taught about success, worth, and power. It does not shout. It does not persuade. It simply tells the truth. Verse 42 begins with a mystery. The Tao gave birth to one with a capital O. One gave birth to two with a capital T. Two gave birth to three with a capital T. And these and three gave birth to the 10,000 things. This is not philosophy meant to be solved. It is wisdom meant to be lived. The birth of everything. The Tao is not a thing. It is the source of all things. From stillness, movement arises, and from unity, polarity emerges. And from polarity, relationship. From relationship, life. This is the great pattern. One leads to unity. Two, yin and yang. Three, harmony, breath, life force. 10,000 things leads to everything we see, everything we touch, everything we love and lose. Because nothing exists in isolation. And this matters deeply as we age, because loneliness is not a failure. It is a forgetting of this truth. We were talking about this the other day with my boomer friends. The more we are alone, the more we feel we are at one with everything. So the verse 42 tells us, all things carry yin and embrace yang. They achieve harmony by combining these forces, the forces for good. You cannot have strength without softness, and you cannot have wisdom without loss. You cannot have depth without grief. And boomers are often told to stay positive, but the Tao never asks us to deny our sorrow. Instead, it teaches us to hold both and to go deeply into our hearts to understand. You are allowed to be tired and hopeful, and you are allowed to grieve and feel alive. You are allowed to soften without disappearing. The paradox of worth. Then comes one of the most startling lines of the Tao Te Ching, verse 42. People suffer at the thought of being without parents, without food, or without worth. And yet, we see that the kings and the lords once described themselves this way. In the Tao, humility is not humiliation. It is freedom. To be, quote, without, in quotes, is not to be empty. It is to be unburdened by false identity. No name, no place, no, into the void, into the quantum fields. And as we age, titles fall away, careers and roles do change, but worth does not diminish. It clarifies. Worth does not diminish. It clarifies. So we gain by losing. For one gains by losing and loses by gaining. This is the sentence, and this is the paradox our culture cannot tolerate. It actually denies it. We are trained to accumulate more money, more status, more control. But this is not true happiness, as we know. The Tao asks us a different question. What are you willing to release so your life can breathe again? And so that you can breathe again. Don't forget to breathe. We often do. Loss is not always tragedy. Sometimes it is initiation. I have found that to be true, for sure. The warning about violence. The verse ends with a sober teaching. The violent do not die a natural death. The violent do not die a natural death. Violence here in this world is not only physical, it is the violence of self-rejection, of bitterness, of clinging, refusing reality. Inner violence burdens the heart and hardens the heart. The Tao invites us to lay down our armor and release. We have to release these things into the ethers. You do not have to become more to be whole. And you become whole by returning to the 10,000 things. We return to the balance. We return to truth, and we return to the Tao. And take a breath. And maybe the most powerful thing you can do at this stage of life is to stop trying to prove anything at all. That is the teaching for today. And we are back to the Tao Te Ching for the rest of the year and beyond.